Is buying a private property really out of reach for most LGBTQ+? Is it a privilege only for the selected few? Let's find out. Maybe with careful planning, it could be your key to financial freedom. In my last few videos, I have been focusing on HDB options for our community. After all, 80% of our population resides in an HDB flat. Now, for the remaining 20%, we are looking at private property homeowners who could be living in condominiums, apartments, executive condos, or even landed properties peppered all around the island. Forget the hefty prices. The beauty of owning a private property is, of course, the exclusivity it comes with, and that is free from most of the public housing policy that is restricting the choice of home for us in the LGBTQ+ community. There is no 35-year-old age restriction, and you do not have to form a family nucleus to buy a unit alone or with your partner. PRs and foreigners are also able to purchase a private property, with exception of landed property, as long as they are able to pay the additional buyer's stamp duties imposed on them. Now, to put it bluntly, as long as you have the money, you are able to enter the private property market. So that brings us to the question of how much do you need to buy a private property in Singapore today? Let's take a look at entry pricing for a resale condo and a brand new project. With property prices at all-time high right now, be prepared to cough out a minimum of $600,000 for a small one-bedder for an older property. And a typical two-bedder may start at about $800,000 and above. And then there's freehold versus leasehold property, which generally commands a 20 to 30% premium over the latter. And for the new launches, it will be a rarity to find a one-bedder below $1 million today. Looking at recent launches, a one-bedroom average about $1 to $1.2 million, and an entry two-bedroom units can easily cost you about $1.3 to $1.5 million. And with this pricing, we are looking at the outside central region of Singapore. These are areas further away from the city, such as Ang Mo Kio, Bedok, Tampines, and even the Jurong area. However, the private property market is driven mostly by supply and demand, and land being scarce in Singapore, the property price can only go up over the long term. And that has made private property a sound investment asset with good value appreciation over time, and a very good hedge against inflation. So at this moment, you may be thinking, how much do I need to buy a private property today? Let me break it down for you now. For simplicity's sake, let's assume you're looking at a one-bedroom unit in a new launch priced at $1 million. First, you will need to cover 5% cash for the option, that is about $50,000. Assuming your income is $6,500, you will be able to get a full 75% loan from the bank for $750,000. And that leaves us a 20% balance that needs to be funded or paid up in cash plus CPF, and that works out to about $200,000. So for a $1 million project, the buyer's stamp duty works out to be about $24,600 payable by cash or CPF. So adding up all the components, for a $1 million project, you will need $274,600 in a combination of cash and CPF. Now, for most employed individuals with regular CPF contributions, their CPF fund will grow over age and years of work, and that helps to reduce the cash component over time. Having consulted with many LGBTQ+ clients below 35 who wants to buy a private property, one very common issue they face is the shortage of cash fund and limited CPF savings. Now, the luckier ones get assistance from their parents who are willing to help them with the down payment to kickstart their home ownership. And some may jointly invest in something together with their partner or friends. For the many who are not able to do so, they will need to put that aside and think of actively saving up cash fund to revisit it again in the future. Some examples of ways to grow your cash fund include cutting down on your rental expenses, moving back to your family, and cutting down on your material expenses like entertainment and travel holidays. Now again, I have to stress that private property may not be suitable for everyone. It is very important that while you aspire to owning one, you are also not overstretching yourself when it comes to servicing a high mortgage payments later. The best thing is to plan early and speak to an experienced professional who can understand your lifestyle and needs of an LGBTQ+ person, and help you to map out those plans and goals to achieve the best possible route for you. My contacts are in the bio below. I'm always happy to chat over a call or a coffee if you ever need my advice. My name is William for William Tan Real Estate and the House of Pride, celebrating diversity and inclusion in home ownership for everyone.